So I don't know about you, but whenever I find myself in a windstorm, it is extremely hard for me to focus. Let's go. Hey guys, thanks so much for jumping into this video. Please do me a favor and just hit that subscribe and like button. That would just mean the world to me. Now, I don't know where you live, but in Southern California, the weather is perfect. Like 99.9% of the time. It is like the perfect weather. That's one reason why I love living here. Outside of the earthquakes, so minus the earthquakes, so 99.8% of the time, the weather is perfect. Well, then again, outside of the fires, the weather is perfect. So 99.7% of the time, Southern California is the perfect place to live, except for September, maybe October. For like a 4-week period between September and October, we get hit with this thing called the Santa Ana winds. Now, I don't know exactly like what they are or why they are, but all I know is that for about a 4-week period, it is extremely windy outside. And I'm not talking about like, wind that's just blowing leaves off the tree wind. I'm talking about wind, not quite tornado winds, but winds that are like moving cars over the highway. Like it's that strong. Like when you're driving, like knocking stuff over my desk, like it's that strong type of wind. And it's for about a 4-week period. And first it's kind of cool. It's like, okay, yeah, this is kind of cool. It's real windy. We're heading into that sweater weather, right? But after a while, it gets a little annoying because the reality is that you step outside and like it's just windy. Like driving down the road, you're trying to force your vehicle into a certain lane because there's just so much wind. And yet what I realize really is that this wind is to a large degree kind of similar to what we experience in our leadership. Right? Like that when you're going through your day as a leader, right? You literally, most of us, if you're a leader, most of us, we are operating and we are living in a windstorm where there is the constant windstorm of emails that are coming in. And there's the windstorm of deadlines and meetings and responsibilities. And I got to do this and I got to follow up with this person. And I got to meet with this person. And our organizations are so dynamic. The environment around us, specifically within the context of COVID, is constantly changing, that we are always finding ourselves in the middle of some type of windstorm where it's just the wind and it's just blowing all around us. And what we do as leaders is much of our work week from Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, we spend so much of our time just trying to manage the windstorm. Right? Just trying to stay on top, not trying to get so far below or so far back that we get blown over, we get off course. We're just like driving down the highway and we're just trying to do our very best just to stay on course so we don't get blown off of the side of the road. And the reality is that as leaders, the windstorm is not going anywhere. Even if you have zero inbox today, promise you by the time you get back to work after lunch, you're going to have another 30, 40, 50 emails waiting for you. Like the windstorm is constantly there. It is something that as leaders, we have to constantly manage. And yet what the windstorm does is because we're always experiencing it and we're always feeling it, a lot of times we don't take time to really spend time really trying to do the most important things in our organization. Most of our time, 95, 100% of our time is spent just managing the storm, the emails, the meetings, the deadlines, the proposals, the responsibilities, the conflict, the performance appraisals. As leaders, we're constantly trying to manage the wind. But what I want to do, and I want to encourage you today, is that if you're trying to move your organization forward, while you can't do much to control the windstorm because it's always there. You have to be extremely intentional about carving out some time where you will be able to focus on, you know what, let's make sure we're at least going in the right direction. Because if you're not careful, the windstorm will continue to blow and blow and blow, and you'll get yourself so caught up in just running the rat race of trying to stay afloat that you won't actually be moving the organization forward. I mean, you'll be managing the organization well, but you won't actually be moving the organization forward. So what you have to do is you have to be intentional to say, you know what? From Friday, all day Friday, or from Friday from 9 to 1, or from Thursday from 12 to 3, I'm like shutting down for these 3-4 hours, and all I'm doing is I'm focusing on where are we going as an organization. That is how you carve out time. It's actually something that you have to do with your calendars. You have to time block on your calendars, and you have to say, I'm going to intentionally carve out time during this portion of the week, every single week. This is holy, sacred time. Call it a Sabbath for your job almost, where at some point, Monday to Friday, I'm carving out 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. If you can, carve out half the day just to give attention to where are we going. This is really, if you're a leader, understanding that your primary responsibility is not just to respond to emails and plan programs and to go show up to meetings and to run your board, run your agenda, but your responsibility as a leader is to really set the strategic direction for your organization. And if you don't carve out time every week to do that, you will get so overwhelmed in the windstorm of management and the windstorm of leadership that you'll be above board, but you'll just kind of still be drifting as opposed to be moving in a very clear direction. You know, it was a couple weeks ago, my wife and I, we went down to Long Beach and we were just taking a bike ride on Long Beach, and we saw some, I think they call themselves like kite sailers. They were like out in on the ocean, and they had these huge kind of like parachute kites and that were strapped to their body, and they were actually sailing on like a surfboard strapped to these kites, and they were leveraging the wind to help move them forward. And as I saw that, I said, man, you know what? That's really a good metaphor for leadership. I said, however, a lot of us, we're not that skilled, myself included. We're not that skilled to leverage the wind to help move us in the right direction. What we have to do is we have to actually come out of the water, stand on the beach, take a break and say, you know what? Okay, this is the direction I want to head. And so therefore, when I get in the water with my kite, I'm going to make sure I'm heading this direction. Because if you're not careful, the wind will just take you wherever the wind wants to take you. And you'll find yourself fighting fires. You'll find yourself on the rat race of work where you're constantly spinning in the wheel, but you're not actually moving closer towards the destination. So this week, what I want you to do as you think about where you are, carve out 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 30 minutes to say, you know what? No emails, no meetings, no calls. I just need time to think. Are we going in the right direction? Do that and let me know what you think. Peace.